Welcome to Sound Like a Local, your podcast for real-life English and deeper understanding of the world around us. I'm your host, Leo, and today we're talking about something we do constantly, almost without thinking, making decisions. From the moment we wake up, our day is filled with choices. What to eat for breakfast, what clothes to wear, which route to take to work or school, should I check my phone now or later? These choices shape our entire day and our lives. But are we always rational decision makers, carefully thinking about every option? Or are our choices more influenced by our emotions, our habits, or even things outside of our control? Today, we're going to explore the surprising complexity of making decisions, the feeling of decision fatigue, and how choosing is truly an art. So let's get choosing. Let's start by looking at the sheer number of choices we face every day. A decision is simply a choice you make about something after thinking about it, and a choice is when you pick one thing from two or more possibilities. It sounds simple, right? But think about your morning routine. Do you choose coffee or tea? A quick shower or a long one? Do you choose to walk, drive, or take public transport? And then, when you get to work or school, you make hundreds more. Which task to start first, how to respond to an email, what to have for lunch. This constant stream of making choices, even small ones, can actually be mentally tiring. This is called decision fatigue. It's the idea that the quality of your decisions gets worse after you've made many decisions, because your mental energy is used up. Have you ever felt completely exhausted at the end of the day, not from physical work, but just from having to decide so many things? That might be decision fatigue. Think about your own day. What are some of the small decisions you make without thinking? Have you ever felt decision fatigue by the end of a busy day? Now let's get a bit philosophical. Are we truly rational decision makers, or are our choices driven by something else? Often we think we are using pure logic when we decide. We list the pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages of each option. But often our choices are very emotional, habitual, or even impulsive. An impulsive decision is one you make suddenly, without much thought. Maybe you see something you like and just buy it without planning. A habitual decision is something you do almost automatically, like taking the same route to work every day, even if there's a faster one. Then there's your gut feeling. This is a very common idiom meaning an intuition or a strong feeling about something without needing to think about it logically. It's like a voice inside you saying yes or no. For example, you might get a gut feeling that a new job offer isn't right, even if all the logical pros and cons look good on paper. So, here's a philosophical question. Is intuition, that gut feeling, as valuable as logic in decision making? When should we trust our feelings, and when should we rely on careful thought? It's a real dilemma. A situation in which a difficult choice has to be made between two or more alternatives. When you make an important decision, do you mostly use logic, or do you follow your gut feeling? Can you think of an example where your gut feeling was right, even if logic said something different? The modern world often gives us what some call the burden of choice. Think about going to a supermarket with hundreds of types of cereal or buying something online with thousands of options. While having choices sounds like freedom, too many choices can actually make us feel overwhelmed and even unhappy. It can lead to decision fatigue and sometimes to regret. Regret is the feeling of sadness or disappointment over something that has happened or been done, especially a loss or missed opportunity. When we make a choice, we often think about the consequences, the results or effects of that choice. What if we make the wrong choice? This fear of consequences can make us hesitate and even procrastinate. That means delaying or postponing a decision or action. Sometimes we sit on the fence, which is an idiom meaning to delay making a decision. We don't want to choose because we're afraid of the outcome, or we hope that if we wait, the decision will disappear. This can lead to having second thoughts, meaning you start to doubt a decision you've made or are about to make. Do you think we have too many choices in modern life? Does having many options make you feel excited or overwhelmed? Have you ever had second thoughts after making a decision? This leads us to our final philosophical question. Can avoiding decisions be a choice in itself? If you refuse to choose, you are, in a way, choosing not to act. And that has its own consequences. Sometimes, avoiding a decision is actually the worst possible choice, because situations often get worse if you don't address them. Sometimes we need to bite the bullet. This idiom means to bravely endure a difficult or unpleasant situation. It's about taking that hard decision and facing the consequences. Other times, especially for big life choices, we might need to take a leap of faith. This idiom means to make a decision or do something important even though you are not sure it is the right thing to do, because you believe in it strongly. Ultimately, decisions, big and small, are constant. They shape our paths, influence our relationships, and define our personal stories. Understanding how we choose and the forces that influence those choices is key to navigating life. It's about becoming more aware, more deliberate, and sometimes simply more courageous. So, next time you're faced with a choice, whether it's what to wear or a big life change, pause for a moment. Think about whether you're using logic, your gut feeling, or just habit. Embrace the art of choice, and remember that every decision, big or small, takes you somewhere new. Thank you for joining us today on Sound Like a Local. We hope this episode gave you something new to think about, and of course, helped you practice your real-life English. Before you go, make sure to follow me on Instagram for more real-life English tips and behind-the-scenes content. You can find me on Instagram at @Dreyer. Come and say hello. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep sounding like a local.